Hey YouTube, what's Duncan? Oreo's here bringing you guys a new video, and today we're going to talk all about plugins. I've had a few people reach out to me asking what sort of RuneLite settings I have for the client itself, what plugins I use, and what kind of configuration they are all set to. So I figured I would throw together a short little video and give you guys a little tour. So for starters, I play on a 27-inch 1440p monitor. As you can see, I have a lot of real estate here.
It's free real estate
that I can use for my client. This is how my client looks on my desktop. With having a 27-inch monitor, it allows me to go into the RuneLite settings and set the game size to 1896 by 1185. This is the required size for the toolbar to be in one straight line. If the game size was 1 pixel smaller, the toolbar is stacked. In order to maintain a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, we take 1896 and we divide that by 16. And then we multiply that number by 10, and that's how we get 1185. One thing to keep in mind, because I stretched out my game size to 1896 by 1185, I also had to turn on stretch mode. Stretch mode is what I use to force the aspect ratio, and I resized the scaling to 100%. If this was turned off, the game would be how it would normally scale, but with it turned on, now it's way more clear. So this gives me a lot of real estate to actually click and move around on the game. I use a transparent chat box so that I can click through it, and I have my scroll wheel on the left hand side so that I don't accidentally scroll when I'm trying to click. I also have a transparent inventory, but you cannot click through this, but I can still see what's going on. So if there's an item over here or a drop or whatever, I can go pick it up. So as you can see, the rest of my settings are over here. I'm not going to go too in depth on them. There's nothing really special about the rest of them. That's pretty much it about the client settings. Let's get into the actual plugins. We're in Valormore here just to show how drastic the change is when you're playing with 117 HD. This is by far one of the best plugins I've ever found. I'm so glad that we're allowed to use it, because there was a time where all the HD stuff was like an upheaval within the community and Jagex and all that stuff. However, it got approved, we can use it, and now I actually can enjoy playing the game. Turning it on, you can see it breathes a fresh air into the game. Like, this is just so breathtakingly stunning. Like I said, I'm speechless when it comes to this plugin. It's so beautiful. So I'll just open up my settings here so you guys can copy them if you want. I'm not going to spend too much time exactly explaining why I have stuff set. I honestly don't even know which ones are not set to the defaults. I do know though, for the seasonal theme, I have it set to autumn. You can come in here and change it to summer, which will change the way the shadows are and the lightness of the area. And then winter will obviously add snow to the ground. Automatic is a pretty cool one because it'll change with what the current season in real life is and put it into the game. So that's pretty neat. So yeah, I will never play this game if it didn't have 117. So I'm glad we got that taken care of. All right, this next plugin is a pretty simple one, but I think it's really good, especially for hardcores. And this one is called Ping Grapher. What this does is allows you to graphically and visually see two different data sets. On my left label, I have the current ping, and on my right label, I have the max ping. These can be changed in the settings to show different values, such as current tick rate, max tick value, or be blank. Additionally, if you want to have it warn you if your latency is too high without you noticing, enable swap font color on warning. As you can see, now that I'm on an Australian server, my ping is over the 100 millisecond threshold, and now my font is red. This next plugin is my absolute favorite. It's also probably the most underutilized, and it's called Shortest Path. With this plugin, you can have it show you the quickest route to your destination. For instance, when you're doing Monkey Madness, you have to talk to the gnome. Then you have to run back and talk to the guy who brought you to the island. Most people either run all the way back, or they'll tele out, run to the stronghold, and come all the way back. What if I told you there was a faster way? If you come here, you right click and select set target, it shows you on the map where you need to follow. When you follow the path, you come to a bamboo ladder. And now you're on a bridge that you can actually jump off of. And don't worry, it's one way, so don't think you could have just gone over here in the first place. But now you can come over here to the boat and talk to the guy. Okay, how about another example? Say you're doing Coast Ahoy or Animal Magnetism, and you have to go from the farm to the old crone's house. Then you have to go all the way back. Most people probably run the route along here and go through the castle and come over here and go back. Some people might even run down to the fairy ring and teleport over. But what if I told you again there was a faster route? So now this also allows me to show you an additional function of the plugin. You can come onto the world map, select a target, select a start, and there's your path. So this tells you to RD Cloak to Canaan Monastery. So now let's pretend I'm doing the quest and I just did my RD Cloak teleport. Now, what fairy ring do I need to use? Well, it tells me right here, ALQ. How awesome is that? So within the plugin, there's also some settings that you can turn on or off. For instance, you can avoid the wilderness or not. You can avoid using boats or not. Or say you don't even have fairy rings unlocked, what would you do? Well, then this would be your shortest path. Pretty cool. Now, I have probably done about 2,500 points worth of questing. And I still sometimes forget the things I need to bring, or what the fastest chat skip is, and this plugin takes care of all that. Simply pick what you want to do. For instance, I'll do a diary since I have all the quests done. And it tells me what kind of skill requirements there are, or quest requirements, what kind of items I'm going to need, what recommended items like food or teleports, who I need to defeat, and what my rewards are. If you come to the world map, you can actually click on Focus on Quest Helper, and it'll bring you exactly to where you need to go. And hint hint, if you don't know how to get there, you can use the shortest path plugin, and it'll tell you the fastest way to get there. Alright, this next one we're going to talk about is called Customizable XP Drops. This one's pretty cool because you can set up, as it sounds, custom XP drops. So now if I attack this wolf here, see how it goes up and fades out? I have it set to do that. You can have it do different things however you want to set it up. Default, the group XP drops is turned off. What this means is whenever you get an XP drop, they're individually shown by skill. So if I were to punch this wolf, we get an attack, and then I would get an HP XP drop. Or in this case, strength, because that's what I'm using. Now, if I were to group these together, they would show as one drop. Also, next to it, you can see that there's a green number in parentheses. That is called predictive hit. What this does is it shows you what your expected hit is supposed to be. Now sometimes this will be off by 1 because of how the HP XP is calculated, but for the most part it's pretty accurate. Now the question I get most, by far, is how do I have just the corners of my tiles highlighted? Well, it's called corner tile indicators. This is pretty cool and there's nothing really to it other than I like the aesthetic. If I were to use regular tile indicators, the entire box is filled in, but I just think it looks way better with just the corners. Bank tag layouts. What this does is allow me to take a bank tag and change how it's actually laid out. If I turn it on, you'll see that now it looks way more clean and aesthetically pleasing. Additionally, I have it set up so that I can see exactly what items I need and what slot they go into, and then this is how my inventory would be set up. So if I'm going to go on a herb run, I'm going to grab everything out, and now I know that I have all the equipment that my character is going to use, and then I come in here and I grab the items out. In this case, I don't have a seed, but I would grab out in order how I want my inventory to look. So when I'm going on an herb run, I have all this area right here for herbs. Alright, now to keep the video at a decent time, I'm just going to quick fire some of the other plugins that I use. The Wilderness Player Alarm is helpful for whenever you're in the wilderness. It will flash a light on your screen so that you are notified once a player comes into your field of view. The Wiki Sync allows you to sync your character stats to the wiki. So whenever you go to the wiki and you try to look something up, it'll let you know if you already meet the requirements or not. Tombs of a Mascot plugin pretty much shows you how to solve every puzzle room, displays how many points you have, allows you to set an audio cue if you have a purple, and have invocation presets. Thrall Helper notifies you whenever your thrall has disappeared. Gauntlet allows you to set thresholds for whichever tier weapon and armor you want to go for, and it will track how many of each resource you've already collected. Stealing Artifact shows you if the guards are set up correctly and which house you need to go to. Logout Timer extends the default 5-minute logout timer to up to 25 minutes. And Boost Information shows you if you have a positive or a negative effect and what the timer is before it ticks down. Well, I think I took up enough of y'all's time. Hopefully some of these plugins will help you guys out, and you learned something new today. As always, happy escaping, see you later.